Imagine for a moment that you could breathe without moving your chest, without taking in air, without your lungs doing any work. Is that even possible? Or are we so used to thinking of breathing as just a biological process that we've forgotten there's a deeper, invisible, even sacred side to it? From the very first moment we enter this world, life seems to start with a dramatic event. The newborn's cry, the sudden expansion of the lungs, the first breath of air. We assume that breathing starts there, but it doesn't. Before that first breath, when we were still floating in the amniotic fluid, supported by the quiet of our mother's womb, there was already a rhythm inside us. It wasn't about oxygen, but about energy. It wasn't a physical act, but a deep vibrational movement connecting us to the fundamental flow of life. This original, pure, subtle form of breathing is called embryonic breathing. Though the name might sound poetic, the practice itself is both technical and transformative. This video will guide you to a wisdom that has stayed hidden for centuries, passed down through mystical traditions, who knew that true energy doesn't come through the nose but through invisible centers in the energetic body, especially through the lower dantian, located just below the navel. This is the energy center, considered the womb of energy itself, where, according to ancient Taoists, not only is biological life created, but so is the spiritual transformation of the self. Embryonic breathing isn't about oxygen, it's about unity, bringing together body, mind, and spirit in a quiet dance where the air barely moves, but the energy flows deeply. This kind of breathing isn't felt in the chest but in the belly, makes no sound, yet quietly reshapes the practitioner's internal vibration. In a world where anxiety dominates and breathing has become shallow, rushed, and broken, this ancient practice is a return to the source, a reminder that we're not meant to chase after breath in panic, but to invite the spirit of air from within and hold it with full awareness. In this video, I'll explain what embryonic breathing really is, how it's different from other techniques, how wise monks and inner alchemists used it long ago, and how you can start reconnecting with that deep memory still alive inside your energetic body, even if your mind has forgotten it. Get ready, because this knowledge isn't modern. It's a doorway that opens only for those ready to remember how they breathed before they had a name, before they had a history or a form, when they were just pure presence. Today you'll learn to breathe like that again, and in that remembering, maybe you'll discover something deeper than air, your purest energy. Throughout human history, the most sacred knowledge wasn't passed down through words, but through presence. The master didn't teach with lectures, he radiated energy. The student didn't learn with their mind, they learned with their whole body. Embryonic breathing is one of those silent knowledges, not written in books, but embedded in the sage's posture, in the stillness of their belly, in the way their energy stayed calm and undisturbed by the outside world. Most people think the first breath happens at birth, but for the ancient Taoist schools, that moment marks separation, the break from the universal flow and the start of a fragmented existence. True breath, they said, comes before air. In classic Taoist alchemy texts like the Cantong Qi, there's a description of breathing that doesn't rely on oxygen, but on qi, the life energy that fills everything. Qi doesn't come in or out like regular air. It moves in spirals, gathers in the lower abdomen, and flows inside, feeding the organs, balancing the spirit, and awakening awareness. The internal alchemists, known as Niden, taught that before breathing through the nose, humans breathe through a spiritual center, an energetic umbilicus that still vibrates where the umbilical cord once connected us. In the womb, the embryo received nourishment, energy, and information effortlessly through this original breath, the purest and most forgotten breath. Interestingly, this idea isn't just Taoist. In Hinduism, especially Tantra and pranayama practices, there's a concept called kevala kumbhaka, breath without breathing, where energy moves even when the body is still and no air comes in or out. Experienced yogis train for years to reach this state, a suspension of physical breath that activates prana flowing through subtle body channels, awakening higher consciousness. Even early Christian and Middle Eastern esoteric teachings mention the breath of the spirit, or ruach, a vital force not made of oxygen but divine presence. This breath doesn't require lungs. It's inhaled with the soul, not the nose. Why do so many traditions agree there's a kind of breathing beyond air? Because they understood that the physical body is only part of a bigger system, and real power lies in the energetic body. Breathing from that body restores balance and connects you to the universal field, where there's no separation between who you are and what you want. Embryonic breathing isn't a new technique, it's a return to the oldest, a bridge to a state of unity that comes before thought, identity, and desire. In that state, you seek nothing because everything's already there. The Taoists knew this, the yogis knew this. Mystics across time sensed it in their quietest moments. The most powerful breath is the one you can't hear, and learning to awaken that lost breath is remembering deep in your belly who you were before you became anyone. When you hear the word breathe, you probably think of air flowing into your nose, filling your lungs, and oxygenating your blood. But what if I told you that's just the surface of something much deeper, subtler, and more ancient? Embryonic breathing isn't just a physical technique, it's a state of awareness. It's not about moving air, but about moving energy without moving the body, and that energy starts in a place modern life has almost forgotten, the vital center in the lower belly, known in Taoist tradition as the lower dantian. This spot isn't an organ or muscle, but a vibrational core, considered the energetic womb of the human being. Life begins there, and that's where we need to return if we want to awaken vitality that comes not from effort, but from harmony. Embryonic breathing starts when you stop breathing like a body taking in air and begin breathing as an energy field. In this practice, there's no chest expansion or diaphragm movement. The outside of your body stays still, but inside, something sparks quietly like a glowing ember radiating warmth from the center. Imagine a glowing sphere in your belly, a sphere that breathes without moving, gathering your scattered energy with every cycle, condensing it and sending it back to your core. That's embryonic breathing, a vibrational alchemy that reshapes your energy field from the inside out. How do you get into this practice? First, through silence. Quiet your mind, slow your normal breathing, even quiet the urge to try. Embryonic breathing only happens when the ego steps back, when you stop trying to control everything. Then you start to feel your body breathing from a place beyond name, shape, or expectation. You might be sitting completely still physically, but inside, energy begins to expand from your center out to your limbs, as if every cell is tuning back to its original frequency. This isn't just an idea, it's a reconnection with a biological and spiritual memory that's still there in all of us. The ancients likened this to the heartbeat of the universe, a silent rhythm pulsing through all living things. Embryonic breathing lets you join that rhythm, not as a visitor, but as part of the whole. The energetic body, that unseen field supporting your physical body, breathes as one. There's no in or out, just flow. In that flow, tension melts away, stuck emotions release, the nervous system deeply renews, and the mind quiets effortlessly because it's anchored in the belly, right in your core, your energetic center of gravity. When you practice embryonic breathing, you're not doing something, you're allowing something deeper to breathe through you. It's like the universe is taking a breath through your body, reminding you that you're more than flesh and thoughts. You're a vibrant presence that can refresh itself from the very source. So far, we've talked about embryonic breathing as a way to reconnect with the energetic center of the self, a path back to the soul's original state before it entered the body. But like all true inner arts, this practice comes with paradoxes that challenge common sense. It's not just about breathing differently, it's about unlearning how you relate to time, your body, and energy. One of the first big hurdles for beginners is that there's no immediate proof that something's happening. No gasps, no emotional outbursts, no noticeable heat. But its power lives in invisibility. Taoist sages said the master doesn't need to move to transform, nor speak to teach. Similarly, a skilled practitioner doesn't need to shake the body to move energy. In embryonic breathing, the strongest movement is the one you don't notice, and that's the first barrier to cross. Letting go of needing proof, control, and instant results. If you get impatient, you'll miss the subtle rhythm of the energetic body, because this kind of breathing follows the soul's timing. Cyclical and internal, more like the moon than a clock. Another deep lesson of this practice is that the body isn't a tool, but a temple that listens. In the West, we're used to using our bodies to get things done. Control breath, hold posture, or force focus. But embryonic breathing asks you to do the opposite. Listen to your body like it's an oracle. Don't impose a rhythm. Let it remember its original one. This rhythm isn't learned, it's remembered. It surfaces when you drop expectations, techniques, and formulas, and simply rest your attention in your belly, as if you're watching over the dream of a sacred being inside you. Here's another paradox. This effortless, silent breathing is incredibly transformative. Inner alchemists said that after weeks or months of practice, you start to feel a gentle warmth in your lower belly, a kind of inner sun that stays lit even when your body is resting. This warmth isn't physical but energetic, marking the start of a transformation, the awakening of an inner fire that supports your health, mental clarity, and spiritual growth. Unlike other practices, embryonic breathing doesn't seek anything, and because of that, it changes everything. By activating your center, it quietly reorganizes the flow of life energy. Your body begins to balance itself, your mind becomes more open and less reactive, and your heart calms down, finally letting go of chasing the future so you can fully live in the present. Moreover, embryonic breathing has almost an alchemical effect on heavy emotions. It doesn't push them down or let them explode, but distills them. That is, it transforms emotions into usable energy. Fear becomes presence, sadness turns into compassion, and anger shifts into clarity. And this happens without the practitioner needing to understand or analyze anything, because this practice speaks not the language of the mind, but the body's symbols and the fertile silence. After weeks of breathing like this, something changes without you even noticing. One day, you realize you're no longer living from your mind, but from your center. And from there, everything that once felt hard suddenly feels simple, because you've learned to move like the universe moves, effortlessly, yet with purpose. Talking about embryonic breathing might sound like some far-off journey meant only for monks or seekers tucked away in the mountains. But the truth is, this practice, ancient as the first heartbeat of the universe, needs no special place or advanced knowledge. It just asks that you learn to inhabit yourself through silence. Here are 5 ways to bring this wisdom into your daily life, not as another technique, but as a way of being that's more grounded, more real, and more present. First, wake up your center each morning before you even check your phone, say a word, or fully open your eyes. Place your hands on your lower belly and just breathe, feeling that point. Don't try to change your breath. Just watch the invisible movement. You might not feel much at first, but if you do this every day, your body will gradually start to remember its forgotten rhythm. This simple act has a powerful effect. Instead of beginning your day anxious and scattered, you step into the world from your core, and that shifts the energy of your whole day. Second, make silence a daily energy ritual. Our modern world is full of noise, digital, emotional, and external, but the dantian, the center of embryonic breathing, only wakes up in stillness. Give yourself 5 minutes of total silence each day, not as a meditation technique, but just to witness yourself without distraction. Silence isn't emptiness, it's fertile ground where your energy can reorganize. That's where you start to hear the breath of your soul. Third, bring your attention to your belly whenever you feel tension. When anxiety, anger, or fear arise, stop. Don't think it through or analyze. Just return to your center. Focus on your lower abdomen and breathe softly. Imagine that point as an energy sphere that stays still while everything else spins around it. This simple move grounds you, pulls you back to the present moment, and most importantly, disconnects you from the reactive ego while reconnecting you to your body's wisdom. Fourth, care for yourself like you're tending a sacred fire. Embryonic breathing has a physical side, an internal warmth, a vital energy that nourishes you from within. So pay attention to what you put in your body. Don't eat in a rush or out of need. Eat as if feeding your body were a ritual, as if every bite had the power to ignite the dantian. You'll notice that when you eat mindfully, energy flows differently. Your body thanks you, your center grows stronger, and your soul feels rooted. Fifth, allow yourself to do nothing, fully present. In a culture obsessed with productivity, resting with awareness is a radical act. Practice sitting still without distractions or goals, not to escape, but as an energetic statement that you are already whole. In those moments, something aligns, and without effort, embryonic breathing may begin to reveal itself. Not as something you do, but as something that happens when you finally let go. In the end, embryonic breathing isn't just a technique to improve your life. It's an art of reconnecting with life before you even tried to fix it. If you bring a bit of this practice into your day, you'll realize you don't need to change the outside world to find peace. You just need to remember who's breathing quietly inside you. Most people go through life breathing without ever stopping to feel who really breathes. They breathe out of biological habit, like machines that never shut off, but rarely do they breathe with their soul, from that silent center that needs no air, only presence. Yet we all came into this world from that silence, from a subtle rhythm that doesn't come from the chest or lungs, but from the belly, the core where energy forms before taking shape. Embryonic breathing isn't some alternative technique. It's a return, a reunion with the oldest, most intimate, and purest part of yourself. It's like an invisible thread connecting you to the moment before you were anyone, when you were already everything, a soul floating in a boundless sea, breathing without breath, living without a name, vibrating in total unity with the pulse of existence. This video is an invitation to remember that true power isn't found in effort, intensity, or even intellectual understanding. Real power lives in the ability to stop, to empty yourself of expectations, to listen to your energy in silence, and to let your body recall how it breathed before you started trying to control everything. Now, did you know there's a kind of breathing that doesn't need air but attention? Your vital center isn't your mind or heart, but the dantian, the energetic womb of your soul. Stillness isn't inactivity, it's the secret language of the subtle body, and the deepest fire isn't lit by will but by surrender. To breathe this way is more than meditation. It's a sacred act, a silent promise that says, I'm ready to stop controlling and start remembering. And when you do, life changes, because breathing from the center aligns what once felt scattered, quiets the noise, dissolves anxiety, and leaves you with a clear sense of belonging, as if you're finally home within yourself. So if anything you heard today touched your soul, if somewhere deep inside you recognized this sleeping wisdom, don't ignore it. Start today with something small. 5 minutes of silence, attention to your belly, and the simple willingness to do nothing else. The rest will come naturally. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and like the video so more people can rediscover this forgotten art. Share this knowledge with anyone caught in noise who needs to find their center, and leave a comment saying, "I breathe from the origin," because it's not about adding more, but about returning to the essential. And in that silence, the universe breathes with you.